Hey guys, thanks for joining me today for another Saturday message. Hope you're having an awesome day and taking time to find your joy. Today's message is on what divides us. But before we get started, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification button to get more updates on videos like these, as well as my videos on faith, health, and beauty. I appreciate you very much, and if you'd like to share, that would be great as well. Using the King James Version for reading the verse for this message, which is the inspiration. And we're going to turn to Colossians chapter 2, verse 16. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or drink, or in respect of an holy day, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath days. Before that, it reads, and having spoke principalities and powers, he made a shew of them openly, tromping over them in it. Which is very interesting because prior to the verse we're speaking of, it says the enemy used these things that are in verse 16 to divide man and turn them against each other. And then after that, immediately following the verse, it says, which are a shadow of things to come. So, of course, Christ knew in his infinite wisdom that in the times ahead, in the centuries ahead, these same things that were being used to divide people during his time also being used today. We fight amongst each other about whether you eat meat or not, or the type of meat you eat, or if you're raw vegan like I am, a vegetarian, if you're a pescatarian where you only eat fish, where you are lacto-vegan where you eat eggs and milk, and cheese, but you don't eat anything else. And those divisions cause quarrels and fights when it should just be a way for us to interact with each other and share our differences that we've spoken of before. Another dividing is on what we drink, whether it's alcoholic or not, whether you drink milk or not, or you're able to or not, whether you drink water or not, the type of water we drink, the brand of alcohol, if you so do drink, whether the higher priced ones are better than the lower priced ones, whether you drink aged wine or not. There's so many divisions. And again, instead of them being a topic of conversation or ways to discuss our differences and embrace our diversity, they become ways to judge each other and decide who is worthy and who isn't, when we're all worthy because we're here. Another device we use to create division amongst ourselves is in respect of holy days. We have over 40,000 religions, no joke, that are in this world. They are major religions, and then the subsidiaries and the branch offs and cults and so many different types being used to judge each other, whether you are better or whether you're not worthy or whether you should associate with someone based on how you choose to honor or not honor holy days. I think in this instance the holy days you're speaking of are of the holidays that were deemed by God to be something that takes place forever. For some reason in our society they've become known as the Jewish holidays, but they're holy days or holidays, but they aren't. In the Old Testament, he pointed out that everyone, Jew, Gentile, were meant to keep recognition of these holy days and these feast days. Pesach or Passover, Hanukkah, Purim, Rosh Hashanah, the New Year, Yom Kippur. They're the Day of Atonement. They're days that we are grateful for trees, the days that we celebrate the Passover, Pesach, when the Jews were freed from Israel. And of course everyone knows what Hanukkah is. And for some reason these became known as Jewish holidays that only Jews are to recognize. But that is not how they were intended to be. Sometimes sit down, go to the Old Testament as well as the New Testament, where Paul and Peter and others speak on how these holidays were intended to be recognized by all of us. And we have gotten to the point where in our society there are 365 days a year, and on one day there's 4 different so-called days of recognition and holidays that fill it up. It could be walk your dog day, take a poop day, don't forget to brush your teeth day. And I know someone's going to say, well, you're making light. I'm not making light of it, but there's no way that there's 4 different recognitions of something in one day, and then people are divided on which ones they're going to recognize or honor and which ones they choose not to. And again, it's another way of dividing us against each other, and this time over things that if it were just a normal day, people would choose to recognize or be grateful for. Another one is mention or of the new moon, and with that you go into astronomy or debating when is the new moon, when clearly you can see it from the sky. So I'm not sure why there's a debate or an argument on when there's a new moon or not, because the phases of the moon are very clear to see, and those who do this for a living and have the high-powered telescopes can definitely let us know. So I'm not sure why that ends up being a point of contention or debate. And lastly, or the Sabbath days, choosing when to honor the day of rest, whether you choose from Friday sundown to an hour after sundown on Saturday, as we do, as Jesus did when he walked the earth, as Jews do, as some Seventh-day Adventists do, and I'm sure some other religions. Let me know in the comments. Or as a lot of people do, they do it on Sundays, which was decreed by Constantine in his time, based on the calendar that he had made up, based on the days of the week that he named after Roman deities. Some people choose on Wednesday. So all of these things have become points that divide us instead of being points of where we can converse with each other, talk about them, and have a discussion. Anything that divides us keeps us from being strong as a unit and keeps us from being strong as a people. I know that there's a lot of division going on now and many other things, but it's so interesting that from the New Testament back during Christ's time, over 2,000 years ago, he warned us that these divisions not only would come about, but that the enemy would use them to have us at each other's throats, to keep us separated, to keep us from becoming a cohesive, functioning unit, to keep us from loving each other, to keep us from finding our joy, and that it's a shadow of things to come. So we're here with this right now. I think that means that it's going to become even more divided as the decades go. And we're going to get to a point, as Revelation discusses, where people are going to be turning each other, mother against child, husband against wife, children against the parents, so on and so forth. And the thing is, we all always have a choice. We each have a choice to choose what we do. And I would hope that many would choose not to fall victim to ways of dividing us and pitting us one against another. I really would hope so. So, what do you think of this? Let me know in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you see division on these lines that are mentioned in this verse? And if so, do you recognize or honor some of these divisions? Great conversation. Open to hearing your views. Let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you continue to have a wonderful weekend. And if you enjoyed this message, be sure to give it a like. If you have been listening and you have the ability, because you have an account with YouTube, type "I'm listening" in the comments below. I just want to check something. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. Talk to you soon.